No way in Ferguson and doing voter registration in Ferguson. We never have been. I've read a lot of stuff about us and me, and so since William yielded his time, I'm gonna talk about what we are doing. Okay, is that good? You got me?
We need about 3 minutes to get your documents. So
Okay. All right, we're gonna pull up something here. So our organization was founded in 2012 out of the death of Trayvon Martin, like so many other organizations. We say that we were formed out of a death. We were born out of a death. But that's a little bit short-sighted. In this past year, we've done a lot of reflection, and if you recall, 2012 was supposed to be the end of the world. Well, we've come to understand that it was truly an end of an era. A year when a lot of organizations and a lot of people were awakening and something new was being born, and we were happy to be born during that year. I'm going to be very honest and vulnerable with you all. This is an exciting time for me because you all are catching us smack dab in the middle of a transition. The Dream Defenders were built as a Ferrari. We were built for speed. We were built, we could get anywhere you needed us to go, we could move people there, but if you know anything about Ferraris, I have 3 of them, they don't have good gas mileage. You can't get much miles for the gallon. And so, upon reflection, after being in Ferguson for 10 days, that was the only amount of time that I was in Ferguson, and I did what I could do to assist, and we did what we could do to assist, including raising money, including being there on the ground and help out some of the people that I count as family now. We learned that if we were going to really have staying power, we needed a bulldozer, we needed a Ferrari, we needed a wrecking ball. We needed to be able to build and to destroy. What we're focusing on now is no different than what any other organizations on the panel are focusing on, and no different than what organizations like SNCC, CORE, and the Black Panther Party were focused on in generations before. Our organizing now and our restructure is focused fully on leadership development, political education, cultural work, and the use of technology in a mutually beneficial relationship with our on-the-ground working. We believe in social media. We enjoy a large social media following, but only as a microphone. It only reflects what's being said on the ground. Without the microphone, you can't hear what I'm saying, but it only is a benefit of work that's done on the ground. And so we use that in relationship to the real work that's going on the ground. It's a fun partnership. We believe that our theory of change focuses on 3 directions. We believe we've got to combat and fight dominant institutions. That's direct action organizing. That's changing the narrative. That means shutting down a road or speaking up loudly on behalf of and on the side of community members at commission meetings. We believe also in building alternative institutions. In the next 6 months, you'll hear a lot more about some of the programs that I'll talk about today that we're building to present a model of what the world could look like in the world if we were to win. And the final is personal transformation. That involves healing, anything that involves mind, body, and soul development. So everything from meditation to very strong political education on the history, not only of movement internationally and nationally, but the history of movement in the state that we call our home. Dream Defenders, and this is being painfully honest with you, Dream Defenders hails from Florida, but we don't have the roots, the knowledge, the education of the history of Florida and the neighborhoods that we're working in to really do any of the work that our social media may have you thinking that we do. And so this next 6 months is a process of us doing that. What you have before you is the product of about a year of work just to develop the next 6 months of what the Dream Defenders will be doing. It's a local research project, a listening project, similar to what Derek presented to you all, that is going to allow our local squads, that's what we call our chapters, to really facilitate a transformational change in the communities where we live and we work. It's adapted from a document that was first developed by the African Liberation Support Committee. It's guided by a statement of principles based on a scientific approach to the liberation of our people. This requires that each of our chapters be guided by uniting revolutionary theory with a concrete analysis of the objective conditions in their local areas. Therefore, this next phase in our development will produce a local research guide to help each squad begin the analysis immediately. It's hoped that the most of the local squads will have this form filled out by the end of the year. This is our listening campaign. I'm going to stand. Repeat after me. Look to your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Neighbor.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Liberation is on the way. We're really proud of this document solely because for the first time our organization, which as I described was built for speed, is going to really be able to be the organization that we've always wanted to be. And so we're excited about this transition. So it begins, this is a toolkit that we're providing each of our organizers. To be here on this in our Central Florida training, but we're training 20 organizers in Central Florida, and next week we'll be in North Florida. Gainesville is included in North Florida, so I'd love for you all to come to Tallahassee. So it says here at our core, we are connected, we are in relationships with the people around us, and we depend on one another to eat, to keep our neighborhoods safe, to educate ourselves, and to govern ourselves. We know our communities have issues, we know we have to do something about it. We know that our communities have struggled for progress, but we know that we are not yet free, and we also believe that another world, a state is possible and necessary. So just keep on moving here. I'll slide through. These are the two phases of our listening project. This is an intentional process of listening to each of the communities that we're a part of. We'll be doing the basic organizing things, nothing revolutionary, but canvassing, mapping local terrain, hosting local community ciphers that we're going to build with community squads to build our base and prepare for our future campaign work. So an underlying point, the elephant in the room, is that I'm not presenting our campaign work. That's going to emanate from a process over the next 6 months of developing that with the communities that we're working in. Hopefully, that will amount to a strong statewide campaign, but it may result in intra-local work that fits a frame around prisons, police, and schools, but we'll see. The next part is values research. This is an exciting part. We're going to pull a lot of the values of what freedom means to the people that we're working with and elevate that nationally. On Monday, we're going to do a social media blackout. You won't see any tweets, any pictures, any Tumblr from Dream Defenders for the next 2 months. And we can go into that afterwards to talk about what the meaning of that is, a critique on social media and a critique also of our organization and also setting us up for a comeback. Moving down. This toolkit is a place to start. Every word in here was painstakingly written, and it means a lot to us. And so it says it has some pretty helpful information from some pretty smart people with lots of experience, none of which is more important than your experiences with your people and the information that you bring. Repositioning our work from saying this is a book that's going to help you do everything to saying this is just a starting point. In this kit, you'll find resources, a conversation guide, a local research guide, data reporting instructions, and a few helpful definitions. You won't find a silver bullet, a shortcut, creativity, grit, willpower, or any of the answers. Moving forward, these are the tools that we're going to be providing each one of our organizers, a conversation guide. A lot of our folks that came into the movement, whether through Black Lives Matter or 2 years ago through Trayvon Martin, they came in excited, but came in no way prepared to do some of the grunt work it takes to build a strong organization, a bulldozer, a wrecking ball with a Ferrari engine. Local research guide, a community cipher guide, and data reporting guide. Keep on moving here. I've already talked about the purpose of this campaign, but it's to set up our squads to genuinely lead and facilitate a process for each one of our communities to retake their power and take the lead in developing what the solutions look like. We're just the facility for that. We're going to be the conduit for that. But all of our squads are going to be repositioning from being college-based to a community-based model. And just moving on here. Here are our commitments here. And I said this would actually take shorter time if I read it. It's not seeming that way. But our commitments are to build a local organizing base through developing strong, meaningful relationships with our communities, working with our communities to develop a shared vision for advancing our liberation at all levels, including individual, community, and systemic, and ensure that the perspective and visions of each one of our squads drive the organizational DNA and campaign strategy for our organization. So as you can see, we're in a transition period, right? We've come out of a period where everybody was talking about Dream Defenders. Umi Selah, Philip Agnew was on television a lot, and people were saying, hey, you know, y'all gonna be the future. And what I'd like to present for you all is not a perfect picture, but a case study, right? For how an organization starts out of a crazy, crazy, momentous moment, right? How the media can try to turn you every which way and have you at every damn panel and convention and thing around the country, and how an organization can come out of that and reform. So I hope that you all will follow us along this journey for the next 6 months. That's the timeline. This is some stuff, all of y'all know this. We copied it from Snake Manuals. We copied stuff from BYP. This is nothing new, but I do want to go down to the bottom and I'll end it here. Keep on going, it's 40 pages. They got a lot of work to do. All our notes are here too.
Yeah,
actually, this is, keep on going. Keep on going.
So I'm on 36.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, keep on. Well, forget it. So the local research guide, the product of this, will be a local research guide. The local research guide is going to have each one of our organizers, no matter where they are, they're going to know the demographic, historical, present conditions of every community that they're in. They're going to know the history of the movement. They're going to know every civil rights leader that came up out of there. They're going to know every person that has done some work that guides them to the place where they are. They're going to know every major business that functions there. They're going to know every black media outlet that functions there. They're going to know every church, every dope boy, every DJ, everybody that runs the community. This isn't just a typical power analysis where we look at the mayor, where we look at the county commission, where we look at the governor, but we're going to know every funeral home operator. We're going to know every barbershop, every person that sells weed. We're going to know them. So the goal of this when we come out of it, right, is honestly for Dream Defenders to be what we've always wanted to be, and quite frankly what a lot of people currently think we are. For each one of our organizers to really be genuine when they say they know their community, and whether they're on television or whether they're not. When you ask a Dream Defender about what's going on in Florida and where Florida needs to go, they're going to be able to speak with confidence and conviction about where we've been, the current state of affairs, and where we're going. I'll end it with this. One of the most important things, and I know y'all know the joy of knocking on doors, right? That's, for me, look, for me, that's one of the most, we call it KOD. If y'all know, in Miami, that has a special. So we call it KOD, knocking on doors. And it's one of the most amazing experiences. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's so important. I'll end it on this anecdote here. Last year we told everybody to boycott Black Friday, right? And this was one of the learnings that really got us to a place where we had to reevaluate ourselves individually and organizationally. And so everybody was saying boycott Black Friday. So I was talking to one of my homeboys, and we do a men's circle. I do want to add this. We do a men's circle, we do a sister circle, both with the intention of eliminating patriarchy, not just in theory, but in practice and in praxis. We're just starting them. One of the first stages of that is during the sister circle, the men take care of the kids, and it's powerful and it's trying. We're building a music studio to pull in young people. In order to use the studio, for every hour, you got to do 3 hours of community service at an organization. We're starting a garden next month to talk about cooperative ways to fight against food deserts, etc. And we do screen printing as well. Y'all see Roots Collective, my brother, that's a part of our organizing model as well. So I'll end it here. So I said, the brother said, look, man, why y'all telling people to boycott Black Friday? I said, listen, man, the corporations are running this country. Walmart don't love you. Macy's don't love you. So don't spend no money with these organizations. He said, I feel that, right? Y'all, yeah, that makes sense. Walmart don't love me. He said, so y'all gonna tell me that I gotta buy the game. I gotta buy the toys. This is non-negotiable. I gotta do it. So you gonna tell me to not go to the store on the cheapest day of the year, knowing I gotta go. I gotta go a week later. So that's not a boycott to me. That's like an embargo. I'm gonna spend more money for that TV. So why don't you tell everybody to shop on the cheapest day of the year? That'll make them lose some money. I tell that story just to say it really regrounds even the campaigns that we do, the things that we ask. And obviously, we got to get this brother greater political education to say you don't got to buy the TV. But that's an example of the conversations that we're able to have. And I know everyone in here has stories, but I'm happy to have a story like that. Because a year ago, when we was doing all of that other bull, and I've been talking to y'all about it, and traveling around and doing the things that aren't real, I didn't have those stories to fuel me. And so that's where we are, that's where we will be.